Hi guys, so today I have some new items to share with you, some new collections that just launched there on Spellbinders. They did send these items free of charge from my review, and of course all opinions are my own. And any links I have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. So as you can see, I have a few different things here. These are 3 different sets. They are all from the new Garden Shutters collection by Becca Feekin, and so we'll just talk about it. So I want to show you really quickly kind of the idea so you know kind of what we're looking at. This is the one that we're working on today, I believe, the A2 size shutter. And I don't know if you can see how this moves. Well, you can't see how it moves, but you can see how it kind of opens. So the card is a little bit kinetic and you kind of move it and it flips back to reveal the message or whatever it is that you want to put on that side. So like if we look at this guy, and once it's flipped, you have your little words. However it is that you want to set them up, you can do it in different ways. I'll leave this open because we are going to check that out one more time to show you that they do have written instructions. So I get samples, they're like this, they're not on any kind of carrier. I know when you order them, they will have a carrier. I don't know if the carrier has a lot of the information on it. I think it does, because if it looks like these guys, then it should have a little something. But there's also a PDF online that you can follow or print out if you would like in their full color. So I'll talk about that in just a minute. But we have 3 different items here. So this is like an add-on set, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. This is the set for the A2 size, and this is a set for the 5x7 card. So there's 2 different types of card. The 5x7 will have 3 shutters, 3 panels that open and close. The A2 will have 2, and then this is, like I said, the add-on. And it's funny because if you look at this, you think, well, this is the A2 and it has a huge die, and this one doesn't, right? So this die is to actually cut the A2 size, like, panels. On this one you would start off with your own 5x7 pieces that you had cut previously. So that's why they look at that. But this is the Butterfly Bliss garden shutters. And so it comes with what's going to make the aperture, what's going to make the shutters. So I don't know if you can kind of tell, like this is tucked behind because it's going to be on a 5x7. And these little pieces that you see here are what's going to come through here and open and close depending on what you're doing. This one does come with a little word pull if you want to put that on like this piece. Maybe I can show you. Well, this one doesn't. Oh yeah, it does have it. So this is like a little sample. Of course, these are black and white. I just printed it out. But there's the little butterflies, and then that's your frame. But this is the part that moves. And then this little guy right here, if you wanted to put pull on that, you can do that. And it would be this piece. And then we have our shutters, like different ways, some different inlays, different pieces. Lots of ways you can size that up with the different rectangles. Of course, I'll do this in a separate video. And then this one just has tons of butterfly pieces that are just gorgeous. So these are the main butterflies, 1, 2, 3. And then it has lots of ways to cut up different layers to make them look extra gorgeous. Down here, little bodies, which I really love. And then, let's see, what were the words on this one? Oh yeah, it says, but what if you fly? So, but what if you fly are the words that it will cut. Look at that. So cute. And here's the word fly. And then a question mark. And then those butterfly pieces. Today we'll be working with the A2 size, which is the Daisy Delight Garden Shutters card. So again, it comes with what cuts the actual A2 size piece for you. It has little notches because this guy will center it. And that'll cut the aperture one for us. And then again, this is the shutter mechanism. So again, if you can see that this would kind of come through here. And then it has room for 2 of them. Hopefully you can kind of see that. So that one would move and then another one would move. So we'll do that in just a minute. It's actually very straightforward, so that's good. And then it has little panels, little pieces, and another panel insert that you can pop in there. And maybe you guys will have the question if these are the same. They're very similar. I suppose you could mix and match the inserts if you wanted. Let's not mix these guys up. I don't want to do that. Yeah, definitely. All right, cool. Well, put that back there and put this one back over here. It has the words happy birthday to you, and then all these beautiful daisy dies that are really nice size. So just layer them up however you want. Just have fun with it. There's no, right or wrong here. You would just put them together however you want, but it looks like these are more sideways. These are more on top, and this one also has a sideways look. But you could always, do that and then put something else. Put a little yellow center. It's just however you want to mix them up. And then stems, lots of stems. And then this one is Primrose Heart Facade, and it has the words, you, I think, are in my heart. Yeah, you're, and then in my heart. So you can play with those however you like. Of course, you can just do like my heart or whatever. We have these little hearts with a beautiful little inlay. This little piece here that's just like a decorative piece that you can just pop in here and there or wherever. So I might use that today because just to add a little something more to this card that we're working on. And then these beautiful primrose dies. Again, layer them up however you like. It looks like there's like buds, but you can also, you know, this one looks like the bottom of the little calyx, but some people in the images had it as leaves. Whatever that you want to do, there's leaves here, there's another little calyx or maybe another flower layer here. You can put like that, layer that one on top of that one, these guys as buds, this, you know, however it is you want to do it. And then we have stems. And this one also has this piece here that you might think, what is that? So it's another pull tab if you want just a different type of pull tab for these guys. So this one has this extra tab, and then this one has the word pull and the 5x7 set if you want to use that. Alright, so what I'm going to do is grab some papers and we will get started. Okay guys, so the first pieces we're going to be using are these little guys. I have my base colors. I'm going to use white. I think I'm going to use green as like this topper part, and then maybe even green for the shutter part. We're going to need 3 of this A2 size piece. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. And then I grabbed some yellow and I have white here for my flowers and things. But I do want to show you at the very bottom as you scroll through the listing, or if you're on your computer, however, like I said, I'll have the links there. Go right to the product, and then you can click on this PDF and it will download images, which is nice. So you kind of see what you're going for, right? So cute. And then on this one they put the words in the background. They didn't even put it on the shutter. So it's like there's just so many ways to play with it. However, you know, you would like is always wonderful. It does have some written instructions. It's telling you what you're going to do with these guys here to make the shutter part. And then you need the base piece, again, 1 base piece. This is also what's going to cut your shutter piece, and then the topper that needs this piece cut out of it. So it's the 3 A2 size pieces, and then it pretty much tells you where to put the glue, the yellow spots, and then how to glue that together. So really straightforward, really nice. But to get started, I am going to cut from this piece a green one just like this, so just the A2 piece just like this, and then a white one also just like that, okay? And I will be right back. So we're going to cut one more green one, but I'm also going to cut it at the same time with this piece, even though in their instructions it says later just to put this in here and then cut it. You know, I'm going to run them at the same time so I can see the little registration marks. So for now I'm just going to cut 1 white piece and 1 green piece, and I'll be right back. So we have 2 pieces here, so I'll show you. And you're basically just going to need 3 of these. So if you want them all the same color, however, I just want to do mine in different colors, so it's going to take a couple different steps. So, oh, let me get this little piece off. This is going to be my back. So the background piece, the one in the very back, 'cause it's basically like a sandwich, you know, bottom piece, the piece that has the shutter, and then that little topper, is a very, very sturdy, like 300 GSM white paper that I just chose to use. This guy we're going to cut our shutter piece into, so I'll do that in just a minute. So like I said, you need 3 of these. And they are A2, so they're 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So the die is about that size. And then this piece, just going to bring over and pop this guy on here. I'm going to go ahead and tape this down, reuse my little tape here. And then we need one that has this piece. So in the instructions they say to cut the 3 pieces, and then on one of them you're going to cut this. So I'm just going to do it at once. Again, if you want to bring out a ruler to kind of really know that you're right on, you can definitely do that, or grab a ruler if I can ever find one. Okay, this is a straight edge at least, it's not a ruler. You can just lightly do a pencil mark down this way, a pencil mark down this way, and then just align your pieces right with that. But for now what I'm going to do is eyeball this from here to here. That looks pretty good. And then up and down, which I think I'm a little bit off on the up and down. And yeah, I need to bring it down just a little bit. Something like that. Yep. And where's my tape? So normally I would have some tape ready. Well, I should say normally. I should have some tape ready. I didn't. I'm going to tape that so it does not move. And then we can just check our little, you know, since I'm doing it this way instead of actually, pretty good. drawing lines. I'm kind of eyeballing this guy. Okay. All right, so I'm going to run it through. So now we have 3 pieces, and I already have the frame, the topper frame piece done. Okay, I'll run it through. All right, so here we have this piece. And then we have our little center piece cut out. And I'll be careful removing those since I put quite a bit of tape. And I put the tape more on the inside because I knew I was going to get rid of this piece. I don't know if you noticed, because that way it doesn't really do anything here. It doesn't do anything anyway because it's that really good best ever craft tape, but just in case whatever tape you're using might leave marks, always put the tape more towards what you're cutting away. So now we have our 3 layers, and I already have the aperture cut in this one because I just thought that was a quicker way to do it all at once. So I have these pieces. So with this middle one, we are going to cut our little flaps into. So it does say A2 there, so if you have both sets, you're not going to get mixed up. And the instructions basically show to line this up kind of centered, but right to the top of your card. Okay, so this little piece, this little notch, or tab, is touching the top of my card, and then I'm just centering it left and right. Okay, and you know me, I'm going to reuse my little tape. So let me grab this, and this one. So you can reuse this tape a few times, but not too many times. When it starts getting sticky, because you know you've been reusing it, don't use it anymore because then it's going to start pulling. Okay, there. And I'm going to tape it like here and here. I'm going to run this through and I'll be right back. And then all you're going to do is reposition it, and I'm going to be careful with this. I would normally just leave it, but I don't want to do that. For now, I'm going to remove this very carefully. Put it to the side. Okay. And, okay, so hopefully you can see there's like little holes. It feels very delicate, but these pieces are going to move up and down and do some fun things. So we have these little holes here, and what you're going to do is line up the so this tab again was basically going to touch this score line, but see these little holes that cut them there, these little holes, you can also see them through here if you have it lined up right. So if you have it lined up in the right spot, you can look in the back and make sure that that little hole is lined up with that guy. So you can see how you can see those little guys, but on this side it's basically lined up right with that tab. It's a little bit higher. So I'm going to hold on to that, pop that down, and I'm going to grab my same tape, put a piece down here, and put a piece like right in here. I know this area is more delicate, so I don't want to put too much tape there. Okay, and I'm going to run that through, and that'll be it for the shutter part. Okay, so now I have this piece. Cute little piece there. I'm going to remove this very carefully, and in the meantime, or one last thing I'm going to do is, since I have the machine out right now, is go ahead and emboss that first piece just to give it some texture. But we have this piece. Ooh, look at that. Okay, it feels very delicate in my hands. And I'm just going to run this through this really sweet embossing folder I recently picked up. It's the Simply Perfect Florets. So I'm just going to take that, pop it in there, and run it through. Okay, just to give some texture to my frame. We have our different pieces here. Again, the 3 A2 size pieces that we cut. We did our fun stuff with the shutters, and then the frame one that goes on top. And I suppose before you put it all together, you can also kind of play with it and see that these guys would be right in the center there. Looks pretty good. Okay, so again, if you go refer back to your instructions, they're showing it like, okay, so this is how it was when we cut it. The little tab was up there, and then the tab was here. Now they're showing it this way in the instructions, and I'm doing that on purpose so that you can follow along and still be exactly the same as this part. They're saying to mountain and valley fold, which I know is kind of interesting. Some people aren't familiar with that, what that means, and sometimes I forget. So mountain is up, right? A mountain kind of picks up like a V, and then the valley would be going down in a V, so up. So this one, we're going to fold it up here, and then back on a valley fold here, okay? Because we're going to glue those pieces down to your paper. Okay, does that make sense? Same thing with this one. So mountain, we're going to go up on this one, and then valley fold on this one. So again, that's going to get glued down to our paper. Those little tabs are going to glue down like this. And this is my background paper. Now, It depends. When I use this, am I going to open it so it opens like this? Or the other way? It doesn't really matter. You don't have to make that choice because this is perfectly centered. So if I decide I want it to open and the flap come down or the flap go up the other direction, it doesn't matter. You can just make that choice when you actually put your card together for like the frame and everything, or when you start decorating, should I say, really. Now I could decorate already, but since this is the first time doing this, I am not going to do that right now. I'm going to glue these pieces down like it says. So what it says is after you do your mountain and valley folds, to flatten it out. And this is the nice side of my paper, so that is what I have facing up. You know, if you want to turn it over, it's up to you, whatever it is you want to do. Now we're going to put glue just on these little tabs. And I'm using a wet glue, so it's going to take a moment. And so that's what I'm saying. All you did was those folds, but right now you're just going to lay it flat and lay it flat there. And now you saw I put glue in a no-no area right there. Let's get rid of that. Turn this over, and you're just going to lay this right on top of your card. Like if it was just another layer that was sitting on top here. Okay? But make sure these glue tabs are touching. Now, I hope you notice I didn't glue anything else. Nothing back here is glued down. It's just free floating and loose, because those pieces, other than these little tabs, just that little square tab, I'm going to try to show it to you on the side, is what's glued down. Just those little, that little bit, okay? I mean, if I do this, you can kind of see it better. Okay, this is ready to move away. And so hopefully you can kind of see what it's already doing. It's already kind of shuttering for us. Boom, look at that. See? Alright, we already got it going. I just want to show it to you that way so you have different vantage angles and you can kind of look at it. Because what they're showing you here is very clear, but maybe not for everybody, because what they're doing is showing you the way you put the glue. But then here, you know, you're just going to lay it right down. And then they're already showing it with the frame topper. Okay? But here they're telling you where to put the glue for the frame topper. So here they're just showing it to you. You know, you can see kind of see what's going on. Again, my frame is exactly the same up and down or whatever, because when I glue this on, if your paper has a direction, you're going to want to know, do you want it to pull open, because it's going to glue to here. Do you want it to pull open this way and then the words show up, or do you want it to pull open this way and the words show up at the bottom? Right? And I feel like I want mine this way, so my flowers kind of do seem to be facing one way than another, so I'm going to put it this way so things flip up like that. Okay? Again, it's up to you. You know, which way do you want this to go and how do you want your words to show up. What else? Oh yeah, so let me remove this, and I just want to show you, since it was like this when we worked on it, I'm turning it this way now, right? Just so I can see what I'm doing. Now, this is, I'm going to refer back to this. All this that you see in yellow, because see the paper was beige, so what's yellow is they're showing you that's where you're putting your glue. So all over this and in that little skinny line, okay? So the reason I'm saying that is because we're not gluing this or this. It's literally where I put my glue right now, so I'll show you. And I'm just going to be, you know, I'm going to outline this. So I'm using wet glue, so I'm going to go from the very top here around our tabs into this area, and then again a little glue where I don't want it. Okay, we're gonna go down this whole strip here, just down the strip, not into those tabs, and then this whole area here, we do want this area done. And I'm just outlining it so maybe you can see what I'm doing with this white glue. Okay, through here. Again, that same strip up the side, that little strip there. No tabs in that area. Okay, so hopefully you see what we're doing, and then that resonates with you with this picture. So all this yellow area, just the sides. Okay, and now I'm going to take this and just lay it on top. As I say, it's very straightforward, even though you think, okay, it's going to be tricky because of the nature of the card, right? The kind of card it is, but no. It's very sweet. And now as I'm laying it up, and I guess that's another little trick. I use the same color paper on top that I did for the shutter. That way when you line it up, if you have to give it a little adjustment, you know, it'll be harder to notice. Now I'm going to give it a little bit of a zhuzh to see if we're on the right track here. Making sure I'm not gluing things I'm not supposed to. Ah, you guys. That's really cool. Okay, I'm gonna let that set up for a minute though, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm gonna put it to the side with like my phone sitting on it just to help that out. And so we have, well, let me show you some different things to color or to decorate. Now we can put flowers all over it. You know, you have your front little area, and then of course I want my words to reveal when I go back here. Now as you work with this, if you wanted to completely flatten it out, you can totally do that. So just so that you can work with it and just train it, right? So it's easily doing its thing. Look at that. Oh, this, okay. I'm super excited because the other one has the 3 and it's a 5x7, so really cool. So we can decorate this side, this side, this side, and this side, or however it is that you want to do it. So let me put my phone back on top of that again. I'm trying to keep it flat. Okay. So I still have these pieces, and we have our little, these guys. So what I was envisioning is I'm going to cut 2 of these in yellow, because we have 2 flaps, so just the yellow. I'm going to cut 2 with the inlay, with that little lattice inlay of just white. So we have those pieces. And on the back side, we can leave it all green, or you can put, you know, something else down. So I think on the back side I'm going to do, you know what, I'll do the same thing. So I'm going to do 4 yellow and then 4 white with the insert. Okay, so it's going to be decorated the same way on the inside. And then I have these little words that say happy birthday to you. And I'm going to cut these out in green. That way the green pops again. So I'll do that. And then we will play with the daisies. Okay, I'll be right back. Oh, one other thing on the front, I also want to use this guy. So I'm going to cut 2 of this. Do I want to leave it like floaty? I know I want the inlay. I'm going to cut 2 of these with the inlay and the white. And then if I want to back it up with white too, I will do that. But for now, let's just cut 2 of those. Okay? And of course, whenever we do inlays, we tape them down so they do not move. Okay? So I'll be right back. I have my little pieces here. This looks lovely. I was going to pop them on our card. So cool. Like in here, it's like the same width there, and one on top. Maybe that way or this way. I think it's this way. Just a little added bit of decoration. Again, that came from the Primrose set. And then these guys I'm going to glue together. So I kind of bend them back towards where they need to be. And apply glue on the very edges. And this one, it's kind of small, but not super small, but it's small enough where I'm just going to put glue on the back of my hand and make sure that gets in there really well. Oopsie. And right side facing up. And I'll adhere these together, okay? And I'll be right back. What I'm going to do is put my words, how cute, on 2 of the panels that are going to go on the inside. So like with this one again, just do a little of this, a little of this. Try to see where that would be. Like right in the center there. Before I really stick that down. Okay, so we have happy. And then I'll do the same thing, put some glue on the back, stick down my birthday, and then to you on this one right in the center, okay? And I'll be right back. Okay, so let's bring this guy back over. We'll put these on in just a minute. And so these can also be popped up. Since I'm putting flowers and things on top, I'm just going to keep it nice and flat, but there's just so many ways to put this together. And I'm just putting that right there. I was going to say popping. Putting that there. And this one here. And then I'm going to let it dry just a little bit before I open it up so I can stick these panels on the inside. And I will be right back. I think I'm ready. I'm just going to pop this open. And like I said, these can lay completely flat, or, you know, you can leave it up however it is. But I'm just going to stick these guys on the inside. Just like before, of course, you want it to face the right way. So as you're looking at it, you want it to say happy birthday up here. And then to you at that bottom part. So I'm just going to stick this down. And then I'll do the same thing with this one. Just stick it down right here. Okay, and I'll be right back. So cute. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to stick that down. I'm going to glue these guys down. Again, one here. And then I'm going to go wash my hands. So when I come back, I'll have cut several of the daisies, you know, the little yellow centers. I'll just cut the yellow area, however it is. And some of these guys out of white. So if I cut this from white, I'm going to keep them separate so we can see about those layers and how you can kind of play with it. And maybe some green stems. So I'll just run those things through white paper, yellow paper, green paper, okay? And I'll be right back. Okay guys, you know, I went to remove these so I can pop out the other pieces. But I realized, you know, these little centers and other parts that pop out, I can just color them because it's just white paper, so I don't have to run them through again if I don't want. So this one was this one had this little guy, and these guys had this guy. So this one looks like an outer piece, so it probably needs to be colored green. So I grabbed the green real quick, and then that looks like a center. And again, you can mix and match these however you like, but if they're already kind of set up for you, might as well follow along. So that's what I'm going to do today. But of course you can play with these however you like. And there we go. So for flowers, they have a little embossing. If you want to emboss them even more, just run them back through your embossing machine, or your machine with the embossing kind of sandwich, or however it is that your machine does it. And I'm trying to think if I actually want to take the time to grab a dauber or not. I suppose I will, because the other thing we can do is just pick this up and dip them in there. But I'm going to put it on the back of this. Come on, little guy. Okay, so I'm just going to get a little something on the back of this and just color them in. Oh, it's so cute because it has texture from the embossing. So that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to brighten it up a little more than what I'm doing. And then on this one, I'll put a little bit of green ink on that, okay? So if you kind of look at the examples, like I said, you're mixing and matching. Like this has like 3 different layers, that has the 2, that has a couple different things, the little centers popping out in the center, you know, however that you want to use them, and in whatever ways. So I'm just trying to think if I want to make them more dimensional now, or in a little bit. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do. So let me think about how I want to do that, because I know this little guy, like if I just kind of mess with his little frills, you can always do stuff, you know, to make it look a little more dimensional. I'm just kind of rounding these edges and then stick them on there, and then stick this guy in the center, you know. Just trying to think if I want to pop up one layer from the other or just leave them flat. I do like the look of like this layer being popped up from that bottom layer, you know. So for now I know for sure I'm going to stick this little guy in the center, so let's put that down. And then maybe I'm going to come back and pop it up from the bottom one. I think that's what I'll do. So let me think about this. Like this one, I can go ahead and glue that there. And I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to do something like this. This is so funny. I put this one down here and there's already a stem there. But I'll put another stem anyway. Okay, so since I'm going to do that, what I'm going to do is... So these little guys are just facing different ways. They're super like long ones. If you want a longer stem, like if you're running up the side or something, you know, you want a little bit more stem. I'm just going to take this, and then we're going to trim off whatever sticks out. So just take that little guy, glue it here, and what I'm going to do is just take a moment to glue these base flowers down, and then we'll, again, if you want to do some movement with those, definitely you can do that. I'm just going to stick that down. Like this one, I'll remove that, but I'll glue this base one down with a stem, and then glue this base one down with a stem too, and then I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I'm just going to finish this up. I did give a little movement to my base flowers by just kind of doing this kind of thing, kind of pushing them up, but also rounding them. They feel so nice in like that thicker paper. And this little guy, I'll just put a little dimensional adhesive and put him there so you can see both layers. Okay, and then this one, same thing. Do a little more with that. I just love this. I mean, you can put any dies that you have on top of this, dress up your basic shutter card, which I think is really fun. Something like that. And then this little guy, I'm do this one a little bit more out like this. I didn't really mess with that bottom one, but there it is. Oopsie. And just put a little glue on that way. Again, if you want to take another center and pop it in there, you can definitely do that. Alright guys, I'm going to let that set up, of course, but I do want to show you right quick what that looks like. So you just have a pretty card with lots of decoration, lots going on, and then you open it up. So if you think your recipient is not familiar with this kind of card, definitely take the little pull tab. I might add it just so you guys have the idea from the Primrose set or from the 5x7 set, or however as you want, and you can put the word pull in there and just stick it on the back of here. I just glue it here so that it pops open like this. But for now, look at that. So cute. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Thank you so much Spellbinders for sending these items for review. I super look forward to trying out the 5x7 size for you guys. Super easy. You saw the steps there, and came out with a really, really nice card. So I will see you guys at the next one. Bye now.